Hello, welcome back. We're going to dive right into it today by looking at a very powerful way that we obstruct ourselves. We get in our own way, and that's overthinking and mental fabrications, mental gymnastics, a very, very prominent way that we, well, obstruct ourselves. We mess ourselves up a lot and overcomplicate things. We're also going to look at the idea that we have no image. You have no image. I have no image. We have no image to be perceived. Now we're in the section of the text, chapter 3, section 5. It's entitled Beyond Perception. So again, we're taking a look at the very, very important distinction between perception and knowledge. Perception involving a subject and an object, me, you, a perceiver, and the thing or things perceived, apparently outside of the perceiver. That's a separation, isn't it? It's a separation thought. It's the realm, the domain of the ego. And that's where we appear to find ourselves. And these involve all of our habitual tendencies to judge, to blame, to lash out, to believe, sometimes, well, most of the time, quite frankly, erroneously, that our brother's out to get us. And he's having these violent attack thoughts about us. So we better preemptively strike. We better fashion an elaborate defense because he's coming for us in everything that we hold dear. And we think about it and we overthink always. And we orchestrate. And it's when you allow yourself to honestly, truly think about it, it's a state of fear. It's a pronounced and a prolonged and seemingly inalterable, absolutely. It's an unalterable state of fear. Doesn't seem like there's any escape, only we know there is. And there is, in fact. There most certainly is. And you're interested in spirituality, so you know that there is. And what's even more remarkable than that is that you're working on it. That's really important. It's really important to study spirituality, and it's even more important to put it into practice. So whatever tradition you follow, or if you follow more than one, that's certainly possible, especially these days, isn't it? So whatever your practice looks like, keep going with it. If it resonates with you, keep going with it. It's so important. It's so important because we're all surrounded by people that don't seem to care about this. And, you know, they don't have to. And they don't have to. Maybe your neighbor or your family member won't care about spirituality or your practice for their entire lives. They'll simply dismiss it in whatever way that they do. And, you know, so what? So what? So be it. What matters is your practice, your forgiveness. Because as we discover along this path, as we discover here with this course, when we're truly forgiving, we're forgiving ourselves. Your brother is you. What appears to be another person is, in fact, yourself. There has never been any separation of any kind. And what we're doing with this type of true forgiveness is we're replacing the way we see things with the ego, separation, subject and object, with the way the Holy Spirit sees them. We're allowing the Holy Spirit's vision to replace our own little one that has us fighting with each other all the time. Instead, the Holy Spirit would have us see our brother as ourself, would see our brother as the Son of God, one with our source. Do that verbal math. One with God. Yeah. Our inner teacher would have us see our brother as the Son of God, one with us, same as us. Yes. Very, very important. Very powerful. So, perception involves images. It involves a subject and an object. Knowledge is beyond all images. We have no image to be perceived. No image to be perceived. Why? Because this is not who I am. It's not who you are. This compound body, 80% water, is not who we are. You know that. Now, it's not like we're saying neglect it because it's an illusion. No, not at all. It's a valuable communication device. It is a valuable way to reach your brother. So if you're so inclined to keep it healthy, and I hope that you are, then do. Then do. But know at the same time that it's not you. Who you are is much bigger than just this thing that lasts for 80 years if we're lucky. Right? There's no guarantee even of that. In fact, we discover that there are no guarantees in this world at all. Why are there no guarantees? There is no world. How can there be guarantees in an illusion? Really? That, by the way, is the central teaching of A Course in Miracles. A lot more can be said about that and is said right here and in many, many, many other places. So, yeah. So we spend a lot of time on our image. We have no image to be perceived, but here in the world, we have an image that we groom and we cultivate and may spend countless dollars cultivating. Right? Think of, if you're an entrepreneur or in business, branding yourself, a branding message. There are many different branding consultants and coaches, and people spend a lot of money in the business world on branding, on a business image. People spend a lot of money on their personal image, and ultimately, there is no image. We're beyond all images. Images are the realm of perception, and we spend a lot of our time attempting to change our image, to cultivate or change our image. And who we really are is unchangeable. So if that's the case, and you're wondering why we're spending so much time on our image, real good question, isn't it? Anything that changes is not of God. God is constant. Constant, permanent, eternal, unchanging. It simply is. And knowledge is our simply knowing that. And when you think about it, when we're running around attempting to cultivate an image or a brand or a persona for the world, if we're attempting to change things, it implies that we don't know, doesn't it? We can see as a pretty clear example that that's not knowledge. It's just not. And knowledge is not open to interpretation. So it's not open to change at all. It's beyond that. In fact, in knowledge, the idea of change and transformation and growth and progress is completely unknown. Completely unknown. It doesn't require our mental gymnastics. It doesn't require what Jesus refers to as our ingenious thoughts, our ingenuity, our attempting to think everything through and to plan it all out and to manipulate and to orchestrate and to arrange and order all phenomena, all illusions, rearrange it in a different pattern only to have it wiped out, because illusions are completely unstable, being unreal in the first place. How could they possibly be stable? They're not. Not even the earth itself is stable. It's constantly changing. It's constantly changing. It just appears to do it at a slower rate than this thing appears to deteriorate. That appears faster, doesn't it? However, an illusion is an illusion. We are always involved in a process here of trying to figure it all out. We're trying to figure it all out, aren't we? Now, this implies something that we really, really should pay attention to. In trying to figure it all out, this implies that we can figure it all out on our own. So we're trying desperately to do that. But can we really figure it all out intellectually on our own? Or should we trust a teacher who knows? Again, we're invited to connect with our inner teacher who will show us what to do. I can't say this enough. What we need to do here on this path, and yeah, you don't have to do it right now. If you're not ready to do it, whatever, so be it. One day you will be, maybe in this lifetime, and maybe not, honestly. But if you're watching this, especially to the end, I know that you are ready to do this. That we can confidently say that, can't we? Place your entire experience under the guidance of your inner teacher and allow your inner teacher to direct you, to guide you. Powerful prayer. Direct my forgiveness. Please direct my forgiveness. And then we surrender to our inner teacher's guidance. In other words, we relax and trust. Spirituality is a process of learning to relax and trust. Trust that our inner teacher knows best, because he does. It's very relaxing when you allow yourself to do it. And we don't have to engage in all of this ingenious thinking. We don't have to engage in all of these mental gymnastics in an attempt to figure it all out. We simply relax and trust our inner teacher. We get out of our own way. This is getting out of our own way, something that many spiritual traditions talk about, and rightly so. It's important. It's critically important that we do this. How do we do it? Give everything over to your inner teacher. We can let go of all of this ingenious thinking, of this constant round of mental work. We can let go of it if we're willing to let go of it. We don't have to engage in it if we're willing to let it go. So, question, are you willing to let it go and trust the guidance of your inner teacher. Right? It's a question for all of us. And you can take, by the way, as much time as you need to answer that question. Hopefully, you've already answered it. But that's what time is for. It's for us to wake up. It's for us to make the decision to forgive the Son of God. It's for us to choose love instead of fear, God instead of the ego. That's the choice, the only choice that we have. It appears there are billions and billions of different options out there. But choice, the power of choice that we all have that cannot be taken from us, is between exactly two options. One's real, one's not. And we're invited, as always, to choose the one that's real. In a recent video, we took a look at the idea that all are called, but few choose to listen. It's right here out of the text of A Course in Miracles. You're called, everyone's called. The question is, are you willing to listen? Do you choose to listen to the guidance of your inner teacher? This is, by the way, a tremendous relief to place your entire experience, your thought processes each day. If you have multiple meetings during the course of a day, each meeting, each interaction, everything, your speech, your thoughts, your forgiveness, everything under the guidance of your inner teacher, it is relaxing. It is like taking off a heavy, heavy backpack full of rocks. It's shedding a weight. It's stressful to go through life, isn't it? Thinking that we've got to have it all figured out. We've got to have it all figured out. When yesterday, we have to have it all figured out. We're in charge of planning and orchestrating. No, we're not. And this takes repetition. These ideas might seem anathema to you. They might seem patently wrong and complete BS to you. And if they do, that's all right. You're still watching. Why is that? Ask your inner teacher why. I don't know why. There's something in these words. There's something in this material that's speaking to you. That's really why. It's why any of us watches any spiritual video or reads any spiritually themed book or listens to any spiritually themed podcast. It doesn't matter who the image is on our screen or on our audio device that's talking. That doesn't make any difference at all. It's the content of what's being said that matters. So does it resonate with you on some level? It may resonate with you completely. And if it does, fantastic. And if there's a part of it that does, listen to that part. And it might be that none of it does. And that's okay. There are many doors in spirituality, many doors, many different approaches. They all lead to God in the end. We've never left, by the way. We've never left our source. Ideas leave not their source. Very, very prominent and often quoted idea from A Course in Miracles. Oh, yeah. Ideas leave not their source. You've never left your source. Thought of God. I invite you to allow that to sink in. So, as always, today we've talked about a lot. I really, really thank you for joining me. And again, for your practice above all else. The subscription button's right over here, and I'd love to have you. In the links and in the commentary on this video, you'll find the link to my Patreon page where I'll be starting a live stream on the 11th of February. So check that out, check those details out. It's an opportunity for a little bit longer interaction. Now, don't worry, these videos here on YouTube will continue about 5 or 6 days a week because there's a lot for us to learn right here. So, as always, I thank you for joining me. Have a great day, everybody.